Good afternoon, everyone. Regina Barnes here reporting. Today is May 1st, and I am headed out on a mission today to interview 3 small business owners. We'll be interviewing Jake Magro, Shane Pine, and Shelley Wolcott. And the point of the mission is to display how important our small local businesses are here in the state of New Hampshire. Small businesses make up of 80% of the economy here in New Hampshire. And right now, the majority of those small businesses are either shut down completely or have had many of their services restricted due to the COVID-19 precautions. So I hope at the end of this video, viewers may understand a little bit better about how all this government intervention and regulation is in fact destroying or significantly hurting many of our small businesses here in Seacoast, New Hampshire. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, stay well. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Regina Barnes, and I am a candidate for State Senate District 24. And we are sitting here today with small business owner Jake Magro of L Street Tavern. And we are here today to ask him a few questions about how the lockdown for COVID-19 has affected his business and what he thinks he might be able to do once some of the restrictions are lifted. So with that, I am going to hand it off to Danielle Rocco.
Hey, how are you today?
Hello, Danielle. How are you?
I am fine. And I love your sign. The first thing I noticed when I walked in here was the sign behind you. Coronavirus, closed for business, going broke. I think that says it all. We're done here. All done.
Yeah, that's it.
You're out of the hot seat. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
But no, in all seriousness, I have to put my serious face on is, how has this stay-at-home order affected your day-to-day business? I mean, what did you do? You got up one day and all of a sudden life was like, whoa, I'm not doing the same thing anymore. What does that look like?
I literally thought it was a dream. Like I didn't think it was real when we got the order, because the next day I woke up and I'm like, wow, we're actually closed. This can't be real. So I am closed. We tried takeout for a few weeks actually, and it didn't really work out. So here we are.
Well, I feel like there is in a restaurant, there is a cost effective, right? Like you want to be able to give to the people that are your community, your customers. But at the same time, like for that takeout, it doesn't always work for businesses. I mean, can you just talk a little bit about that? Because my own curiosity has gotten that. Why have people chose it and why have people not chose it?
Well, we're not necessarily known as a takeout restaurant. People like to come here. We're a karaoke bar. Basically, people come here late night, have fun. We have great food. Not that we don't, but we're not known as a takeout restaurant. People come in, they eat. We do a steak on the stone. It's something that you cook at your table. It's like an experience, and that's something you just can't bring home.
That is really cool. I didn't know that. You can't really karaoke takeout.
Or that, correct?
No, and you can't really Zoom karaoke either. The whole experience of karaoke just doesn't transfer. Got it. All right, so I get it. Now, when all of this is over, the ban is lifted. How do you just see like opening your doors and business is going to go back to normal? I mean, people have learned that, hey, I'm probably saving a crap load of money at home. Do I really want to go to L Street Tavern? I mean, are these thoughts that you're worried about?
No, not really. I mean, everybody that I've talked to is dying for us to reopen. It's a social thing. Everybody needs socialism in their day-to-day lives, I feel. I mean, me personally being home for the last month is driving me nuts. I would kill to go out and have a dinner somewhere, and I can't. I think a lot of our customers are very, very loyal, and I mean, I get messages every day, from customers. And they're like, any idea when you guys are going to open? Have you heard anything? And I say, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
That is all you can do. Do you see yourself having to put in different, rules? Like there's always the one person in the bathroom rule. Okay, I get that. But like
2 in the ladies' room.
2 in the ladies' room. Okay, so we each have our rules. Are there new rules that you're going to have to implement, do you think? Or you're fearful that you might be forced to implement that'll change your business?
Yeah, no, I think, capacity is going to be cut back, which is going to be tough. Because especially in the summertime, you make a lot of your, a majority of your business is in the summer for the year to support you through the winter. But I think they're going to have certain restrictions. I already bought hand sanitizing stations. I bought 3 or 4 of them to put around. I just bought them because I knew that was going to come. I think there's going to be one person allowed or one table at a time to be seated. No walking right in. You have to wait for the hostess. I'm sure there's a million things. Maybe you have to wear a mask, gloves. It could be a million things.
All right. Are you already trying to think of creative ways to replace that revenue? Because even when you're open, and if they implement these, new society bans, that's kind of what I feel like it is. You're going to not have the same revenue. So have you started you don't have to tell us your secrets. Don't give your trade secrets away. But has that been percolating in there?
It has, and I'm doing a little construction right now, and one of the reasons I'm doing the construction is because I know there's going to be limited capacity, I'm sure. So if I open up the place a little bit more, that's a few more people we can get in here, and hopefully have a halfway decent season.
Yeah. Well, in case you don't know and you haven't visited L Street, we are right in the heart of Hampton Beach. I can see the ocean from where I'm sitting. It's a cloudy day, so I won't show that to you. But so his seasonal business that's it for the year, kind of your big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a big kaboom.
Yeah.
It's 2 months, 10 weeks, 12 weeks.
12 weeks in New Hampshire. That is a small season. Before I pass this to Regina for the last question, when does that season normally start?
I would say around Memorial Day, but it really kicks in July 4th, or the week of July 4th. But this year, I don't think it's looking good.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. I heard that's right around the corner. So, all right, I'm going to pass this on to Regina for the last and final shebang.
All right, yes, I do have one more question, but I also want to make a statement about L Street specifically. Normally, if these restrictions weren't placed on local businesses, you would be open. Even you're open year-round.
We are.
So you specifically closed because of the governor's emergency orders, and like you said, it's just not a takeout place.
Right. Like I said, we tried for a week or two, do delivery, and I thought maybe the beer and wine takeout would help. But at the end of it, I'm not in business to break even, and I'm better off closing.
Right. All right, thank you. And my last final question that I would like to ask you is, the governor is scheduled to have his 3 o'clock press conference today, and he's supposed to have some information in regards to extending the emergency order, but possibly, loosening up some of the restrictions. What do you think would be a couple things he could do that would make it a little bit easier for you to open sooner rather than later?
Oh boy, what could you do? I think it's going to happen in phases. That's what I've been seeing, phase 1, 2, 3.
Right.
I think restaurants, unfortunately, might be the last phase. But to make it easier, I had said let's shut down the front parking lot, all state parking. Let's limit it to side street parking and locals. Able to go to the beach, go to the restaurants. That way you don't have the huge crowds. Hopefully we got some good news coming. But then again, this is a bad virus, and we don't want to push anything too fast because you don't want to suck around, and my employees, me, I don't want to get sick, and I'm face to face with these people all the time. Just so hopefully we can do it the right way.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Jake, and I hope you get to open soon.
Me too. Thanks, Regina.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Regina Barnes. I'm a selectman here in Hampton, and I am also a state Senate district candidate for District 24. And the objective here today is to speak with some local businesses as to how the COVID-19 shutdown has affected them personally and their business. And we're here today with Shane Pine, owner of 3 restaurants in the Seacoast area. And we're going to start the interview off by handing it over to Danielle.
Well, thank you. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good. Well, let's get right down and dirty. Well, the first thing I have to ask is, how does it feel? I mean, you own 3 businesses in the Seacoast, so you must have a lot of employees, right?
Yeah, I had close to 150 employees.
And how many do you have active now?
Right now, we're close to 60, close to 70.
Okay, that's a huge difference. I'm just going to say right there. And before we went on camera, I was like, so how does it feel not to be essential? Because that kind of sucks when you have 150 employees and you have to reduce them down to, 50 or 60 and not be considered essential. That makes it just ripple effect into my mind of those people mean what and their livelihoods mean what? I mean, how do you, without going crazy because we don't have too much time, but how does that make you feel as a business owner?
I never thought this would ever happen or anybody would ever be in this situation. So it's hard to just, wrap yourself around and kind of answer those questions. But, not being essential, not, maintaining a restaurant, an employment opportunity for the community, having staff earn a wage, put food on the tables, pay their rent, pay their utilities, and for being shut down, what was first promised 2 weeks to stop the spread, and then just continue, and to see the economy, to see the local economy here, to see the restaurants, to see all the unemployment, everybody closing. Even going further back, like purveyors, my delivery people, like it's just the snowball effect of everybody that, were forced to abandon income, livelihood, their families, their job, their means to have a future was unthinkable.
Yeah, and gosh, just the mindset from a business owner that must have, on your heart. I can hear it in your voice and see it on you. So you are able to stay open a little bit, which is a blessing in a terrible time. But what has that done to your revenues? What does your day-to-day activity, I guess, look like now comparatively?
When it started, just like everybody else, it was shock. Like, we've got to close the doors. How are we going to do this? How are we going to survive? And you can get into that negative feeling of like, this is just awful. And I, got my staff together and like, what can we do? And we started just finding positive ways to get out into the community, be part of the community, be here for them, be essential by providing food, whether it's, we do 200 to 400 pizzas free. The local food pantries, we started a program where people could call in, donate a pizza, and now both my locations are available from 12 to 8. They can come in, anybody on the front line, anybody in the hospital industry, anybody as a healthcare provider can get lunch, dinner, their family member can come in here and get dinner, and the community has reached out. Between the 2 restaurants, we're almost 2,000 pizzas that we've been able to donate, give away, and tried to be essential. People need to eat, they need to survive, they need to be nourished, whether you work on the front line or that being on unemployment doesn't justify it.
Yeah, I have to make a point because what was screaming in my ears, like, that is amazing when the community's coming together, you're taking ownership, what can you do? But FYI, that takes money. Yes. And if you can't bring in money, you can't give out money in the way of free food, there's nothing free. So I just have to make that point that I love that you're doing that and you're putting that sacrifice because yes, your revenues have obviously, been cut, but free guys isn't free. So someone's taking it from somewhere. So I have to say thank you, and thank you to the community that you've kind of built around to be able to provide that. So what does it look like going forward? Have you pictured, the restrictions that are going to be placed on even more onto your business once this ban is lifted?
We have, throughout this, we've had essential businesses stay open, and through the process, we've learned how to adhere to social distance. We learned what practices and places we put in place. The grocery stores, the convenience stores, the gas stations, they have figured it out without government involvement. And we, every single business owner, especially a restaurant owner, we take an oath of always healthy food, healthy living, having a clean environment. Like, we've adapted that.
Man, you have to be creative. So I have no doubt that you're going to be able to, whatever restrictions that the government puts on place, whether they're right or wrong, and I have my opinion on that, you're going to be able to come out on top because you're already implementing and using. That's why you're an entrepreneur, and that's why you're successful.
Absolutely. We will always do it, and going forward, we'll figure out the ways that need to be done, and keeping social distance and working together. Yep, you can hear they're still working out there, people. We've been taking this opportunity, trying to keep my employees' income coming in. We've been, cleaning, repainting, getting ready for whenever the opening is, and thinking of creative ideas. Well, there's been a tent in the parking lot, working with the restaurant next to me, and us getting in together and getting a large tent for outside. We'll figure it out, but just give us the opportunity to get it done, get income coming in, and hire employees back, and get this economy back on track.
Perfectly said. And with that, I'm going to give the microphone over to Regina for the last question.
All right. Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Shane, for doing this today with us. My question for you is, this afternoon, shortly, he's scheduled to come on at 3 o'clock, the governor. Now, I've heard that he potentially could extend the emergency order, but may loosen up on some of the restrictions as far as, allowing businesses to operate, at least partially. What is it something that you would perhaps like him to say or offer? I know you just said, and I completely agree with you, to just maybe start doing it in phases. Nationally, we have sort of a 3-phase program that we should start implementing individually. I don't see any reason why New Hampshire shouldn't be in that first phase.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that that's something he says today. But is there anything that you would maybe like him to specifically say that could help the hospitality businesses a little bit more?
Yeah. So, I've heard that there's an opportunity where he would like us to do outside seating. But as you can see now, the weather's not optimal. It's not the best right now for outside seating. I have 5,000 square foot restaurant. Even if, I've been advocating for reservations only, one party an hour, there's 5,000 square feet. Party size under 6, we can adhere to every guideline, and allows us to do it now. It allows us to work our way up and to opening up the restaurant, open up the food chain, open up my purveyors. If he turns the switch all at once, we're all going to be calling the same guy, and it's just going to backlog everything. Doing it now, what we are already capable of taking care of a reservation-only scenario. And whether it's one party an hour or 2 parties an hour, I got 5,000 square feet. I can put 2 people in 2,500 square feet, and I've way over beyond the social distancing. But that's something we can do now. I like the idea of outside seating, but right now it's just not. Right. It's great, but in this weather today, it wouldn't work. It's cold, it's rainy. Allow us to open up our doors and start working the process.
All right, that's great. And I actually want to ask you one question that I heard you say something about working together with WIM about a tent.
Yeah, we're looking into getting a lot of weddings have been canceled over this, so there's a lot of large venue tents that are available, and we're hoping to get one that we share in our parking lot, and we can have it all season.
Awesome. Great idea.
And that is how it's done, people. Let entrepreneurs be entrepreneurs, do what they do best, and things will miraculously come together as a community.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're here this afternoon with Shelley Walcott. She is the owner of Healthy Solutions Spice Blends, and we're here to ask her a few questions on what the COVID-19 lockdown restraints have done to her business. And I want to start off by saying my name is Regina Barnes, and I am a selectman here in Hampton, and I am running for State Senate District 24. And this is the third business that we've reached out today to see how these lockdown procedures have affected them specifically. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Danielle.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us come in and have this opportunity to talk with you today. So what has changed in your life? How has this forced basic shutdown affect your business from, what was your day-to-day actings before to compared to now?
Well, obviously, like other small businesses, my business has changed dramatically, over the last couple of months. My business depends on other small businesses for my business. I have a spice blend company, and we sell wholesale to independent stores, meat markets, fish stores, specialty shops, cheese shops, and smaller family-owned grocery stores, as well as some bigger chains. Obviously, with those stores closed, they have no need for our product.
Was that all of a sudden... I just want to visualize this. I'm such a visual person. Okay. All of a sudden you get this, nope, you can't work anymore. And that was it. Revenue to nothing.
Well, fortunately for us, not really that way. Because we are a food product, we are an essential business. So I can still supply my product. So stores like Market Basket, the bigger stores that are in business, obviously we can deliver to them. It's the smaller shops, it's the mom and pop shops, and they are our livelihood. They are everything to us. That's why we create what we do. It's for them.
Okay, so that is a huge, that is a huge difference. Now looking forward, is this going to change how you run your business, how you operate your business? Do you think you're going to make, we can't be like this forever. Are you going to make changes moving forward?
Well, we already have made changes. Some good, and that we'd like to keep. Others not so good. So all of what's happened kind of has a trickle-down effect, okay? I order my spices from a company who blends them to my specifications. We have another company that actually packs them. So when this all started, I kind of put a halt on everything and said, whoa, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's not order anything new. Let's work through the inventory that we have. So that means the company that provides my spices have people that have less work to do. The company that packs my product has people who also depend on me for their income, who no longer have that work to do. And what it means in the end is if we were to open up tomorrow, we may not have the product to provide for the stores that want it. Now, I would love to have that problem. Unfortunately, I don't see that being the case. Every day we get a note or a call or see something even on Facebook that one of our customers has closed their doors permanently. And that's very hard to see. These are our partners.
Wow. What are some changes? Now I'm just curious that you will keep in because maybe I'm going to benefit from this. I don't know.
Well, initially 90% of my business was wholesale to stores. Okay. So with that said, my internet piece, which was only 10% of the business, has skyrocketed. So in spite of all the bad, that is the bright piece in all of this. And then to encourage that, one of the things that I've had to do that I'm not usually comfortable doing is I started going on Facebook Live and talk to people who are really sick of cooking the same thing at home and helping them come up with new ideas for making a tomato sauce with 3 ingredients or using a spice blend that's meant to make a shrimp scampi dinner to make garlic bread instead. So it's been challenging for me. At the same token, it's kind of fun. And it is bringing our customers back to us. They're engaging with us. Which is nice.
Well, you're giving some life to something that's forced and been virtually taken from you. So thank you for giving a little life and love into the community. You may not see it, but just, I didn't know you before today. And now I'm like, I'm going to have to go check her out because I am flipping bored of being in cooking the same thing. My cooking education is very small. So, let's see what, I want to ask you one more thing.
Sure.
Going back into, actually, let me back up my bus a little bit. Do you normally work from home? Is this where your office and your workplace is?
So yes, I run the business from here, but on a normal, if things were normal, I would be on the road most days, visiting supermarkets, setting up their displays, obviously looking for new customers. I don't usually sit at my desk. I have certain things that need to be done. Yeah. So as you can see, I have to laugh. I'm sure everybody is wearing bigger sweaters these days because we're all at home eating more.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to point that out because I was thinking you are kind of an at-home business, but you rely on our state being open to continue, not just for the trickle down effect, but for the effect of you continuing on in your business.
Right. Plus, people need people.
Yeah.
And it's as much fun as it is to have a cocktail with a friend over Zoom. Man, I want to just reach out and hug somebody other than my husband. So it's really, yes, I think everybody has changed from this. You can make, obviously I think this is a terrible situation that we're in and I would love it to not be, but sometimes you just have to make a little bit of lemonade.
Well, we do, or it would get tragic and disastrous very quick, very fast. It's a slippery slope that we're in right now, and that's how I feel it. And with that slippery slope, I'm going to give this last question over to Regina.
Okay, thank you, and thanks, Shelley, for letting us do this today. And my last question is about, we just were listening to the governor, and he stated that he is going to be extending a new form of the stay-at-home order until the end of May 31st, 2020. Now, I didn't have time to really get the details, but what are your initial thoughts on extending that stay-at-home order?
So I have to answer this honestly then.
Definitely. Honesty, best policy.
I hate it. This is a great state of New Hampshire, made of wonderful, smart people. People need to make their own decisions. It's great that everyone's been educated. People are washing their hands more than ever. Disinfectant comes in every flavor, smell there is these days. However, most of us know that if we don't feel well or we're sick, we should stay home. I didn't need the COVID virus to teach me that or for my family to learn that. I'm very frustrated by all of this, and I wish that it wasn't the way he's decided to go forward.
All right. Well, thank you. And I have to say I was a little bit disappointed in hearing that the stay-at-home order was going to be extended through the end of May. I agree with what you're saying. I think that common sense is something that's given to you from a much higher power than the state government. So I guess we'll have to see what the next phase brings us. But I want to appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. And I just wanted to reiterate, since this is the last business we're speaking to, that the main reason why I decided to do this today with the help of Danielle is because I think people need to understand how this is hitting everyone at home. Kids can't go to school. They can't be with their friends. My niece, she misses all the sports that she's used to doing. Businesses are suffering, ripple effect, like we talked about too with another business owner, Shane Pine. It's going to take a while for us to get back, and I think that we really need to start focusing on that road to getting back. And I hope that New Hampshire can reopen its economy very soon and better than ever before.
Very well said, and thank you. And I think the common denominator is that local businesses, entrepreneurs are brilliant, masterful people. They don't need to have more laws and regulations and whatnot thrown at them. They will succeed. Let them have the power, because that is how our economy works. We are built off of small businesses. So thank you. And let's get this state back in order.